Call to order the regular board meeting for Tonganoxie USD 464 for Monday, August 11th, 2025. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
I second it.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 1.4, district project. Mr. Loomis.
Whoever gotta go first.
I don't think your mic's on.
Now it is.
Check.
You're first and last.
First time I get to go first, and I notice I'm the only. I don't have a lot tonight. I just kind of wanted to update on a few summer projects that we're done with and then answer any questions we have. But just to kind of wrap it up, parking lot at TMS is completed. Pretty much no issue there. Auto shop, air conditioning here in the CTE wing of the high school is now completed and operational. I'm ready to go. Track respray completed as of last weekend. Got that painted and really pleased with how that turned out. The gym floor over here in the West Campus has almost everything done, but I think Base Cove put back to be released to the public again. I believe on August 20th is the date they gave for the Florida Cure, so I know we're about a week away from turning the pickleballers loose on that. And then the two big ones that we're still kind of limping to the finish line on, the roof at TMS was planned to be completed tomorrow. The rain has thrown a pretty good wrench in that, so I would expect early next week for completion of the roof. We have talked to them about really working hard over the last couple days of completing educational spaces. So there's 4 classroom wings at the middle school. All 4 of those are completed, so there won't be any work right on top of the classrooms. Most of it is trending to the back corner of the building where the locker rooms are in the gym area. So it would be very minimal disturbance, if any. Regardless, try not to have roof work going on over classroom spaces. So all the classrooms are completed. It's really common spaces and then locker rooms to finish up. So hopefully by the end of this week or early next week. And then the TMS HVAC project is completed to the point of everything is up and running with the exception of one of the rooftop units that serves the 6th grade hallway. At startup had a pretty major failure on one of the parts, and they call it a hamster wheel, and now I can't think of what the actual part is, but it's a giant thing that spins in a circle like a hamster wheel. Anyway, if you drive out there, you're going to see on the ground in front of the building a giant trailer with a giant rooftop unit on it that is actually ducted onto the roof to cool the space. So basically we have a rental unit out there right now running off a generator for a day or two until they get it hardwired, and then they think it'll be a couple weeks on getting this replacement part to start up rooftop unit 1. But like I said, we've basically got a rental unit out there that is a full rooftop unit that's just sitting on the ground that's ducted up in there to cool that space. So when that part comes in, then we'll actually be able to check that box as completed. All this obviously still part of the project, but most importantly, I think the spaces are able to be cooled, and we got through some kinks here the last week and be ready to rock for students tomorrow as well. So that is kind of my rundown on projects. Questions on any of that?
Is the 6th grade wing reasonably cool with that?
Yeah, I think so. It was kind of hard to tell today because they got it fired up in the afternoon. It wasn't uber hot, but it is of substantial size. And like I said, it's piped right into the ductwork, and the return air is piped into the machine. It's basically like a rooftop unit sitting on the ground with some temporary ductwork. So I would expect nothing short of that, but it was hard to tell today when they actually got it fired up. So yeah.
One other thing on that, on the floor down here.
Yep.
Have we had any other conversations with the city?
We've been talked about it. We haven't been able to track each other down, but I think that's definitely when Lauren and I sit down with the city, that's still a huge point of conversation piece is
Okay.
how we're going to prevent.
I know that a lot of that was the insurance company, but I'm
Mhm.
sure the deductible was significant.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, I think, we got out ahead on this one, but certainly, I don't know if we would on this, if we had to have another go around with that. So, yeah, that's what I got.
Could you say a couple of words on the floor scrubber that's on the?
Yeah, sure.
Um,
Action items?
Yep.
Yep, so, put on there for tonight, a new floor machine for, TMS. Like I said, a couple notes I put on there, just, we haven't purchased, the last time we purchased considerable custodial equipment was at the drop of opening this building, through the bond, so we haven't actually bought anything new in a while. So this is a ride-on floor scrubber, one you actually sit and drive. We've got 2 floor scrubbers over there right now. One's a walk behind that is needs to be retired, has to be retired because it's not supported anymore. And then they have another stand-on floor scrubber. But obviously, in the name of efficiency and comfort, and this is really a little bit trying to take care of our people over there. This unit that I recommended tonight comes from a manufacturer in St. Joe. So I think I put the warranty on there. I think it's 3-year parts, 2-year labor. But obviously able to keep it running. We demoed about 4 different units over the summer with our custodial team just to see which one they like, and this one, from a size, maneuverability standpoint, ease of operation standpoint, was the one we kind of settled on, and it's just kind of the way we're going and allow us to continue to take care of the hallways and the floors there. And it's not the robot ones you see in Sam's, but I'll be bringing that maybe someday. Maybe we get a little bigger, more hallway. We'll get a robot one. But I'm really confident in the process we went through to find this machine, and I think it'll. I know our people will really appreciate the opportunity to utilize this, and there's some comfort value there, obviously, but also just to continue to keep our hallways and gym floors and all that. So it'll certainly get used.
On that, a little bit to add to
Yeah.
that, are we 100% our people in the custodial staff now?
At the middle school,
In general?
no, we still are.
We're still
outsourcing at the
subcontracting.
elementary. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So middle school, all our people. High school, our people. And then elementary school, we have 2 full-time employees that are ours, and then 5.5 that we subcontract.
Okay.
Okay. Other questions?
All right. Thanks, guys.
First and last.
There we go.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. I don't think there's any patron comments. Mr. Feldkamp.
Okay, mine's going to be pretty short too. Of course, we had our welcome back convocation earlier this week, and as I mentioned, really appreciative of the effort that went into that. We had, I put in my Friday update, we had 3 board members there, and Justin provided a very positive message of support to the entire staff. Tanya handed out the T's, for first year, 5-year and plus, which was well received. We had the student give a little talk, which was, really well received by the staff. That was something we hadn't done. The band and cheerleaders met the staff as they came in the main entrance. Really nice breakfast, and it was just a good positive start to the school year. There's a good vibe, is how we would call it. So very appreciative of how the year has gone off. We've had a good week as we move into tomorrow with a half day for we say 6th grade and freshmen, and all elementary are in for half a day, and then Wednesday's full gear. And so it's hard to believe summer's over, and that's that's an understatement. I just want everybody to know that the budget, as you know, is completed. We got all the information out. Also, we did have a Zoom meeting with KSDE with Mr. Noonswander, who did our review with Rebecca and I. We got very positive feedback from KSD on the build of the budget. It was good for us to have those conversations, and so and actually there were no adjustments, which is a little bit unusual. Usually there's always something they say you might take a closer look at, but they didn't have any. Negotiations, as we'll talk about here in just a minute. That again, I was appreciative of the board. We had 3 negotiations. It was a very, I'm just going to say, a positive experience from start to finish. But I think a lot of groundwork was done during the course of the year. I think Justin would agree that getting all that verbiage finished with Tanya and a committee of about five teachers, 4 to 5 teachers. Getting that done was huge, to help move this along in a very positive manner. I think TEA was very receptive to the entire negotiations process, so that was good. I don't know if anybody, let's see, Linda, you were at the Economic Summit.
Yes.
And not too far from where you were sitting.
Yeah.
And I think it would be best described as robust. It was a lively discussion, but it was respectful. Would you agree? I don't
Yes.
think there was anybody that got upset about.
No. It was lively, but not very, what's the word I want to say, antagonistic at
No.
all. It was,
I
enjoyed it.
I learned quite a bit about the politics of Leavenworth County.
Yeah.
And you had both sides, or maybe 3 sides. It was a little bit of everything.
And I
You
was
had-
very proud of Tonganoxie at that. They had a lot of good things to say about Tonganoxie and the things that we've done here, not we, but that our city has done to improve. And so that was
very
very
much so.
positive.
And it was. I'm glad we hosted it. We had close to 55 is what I think I counted. And we started at 6.
Yes. I
6.
think so.
And I think it was 6. Yeah, we did. It was 6 o'clock, and I walked out of here just a little bit after 9. And so it was full evening of activities. So anyway, I think the county commissioners were appreciative that we hosted. That's how I felt about it. Just a reminder, Congy Tailgate's coming up, and that's next in a couple weeks here. And I know Josie's been working on that, getting that all ready. And so that's become a nice tradition for the school district. Okay, and then the other thing I've added, just so if you want, it was requested at the last board meeting that Jill put together a current, not what's the right term? It's not rotation, but just our inventory is the word I'm looking for. That's the inventory of all our buses and vehicles, and there's a vehicle on tonight's agenda, to help with SPED, and I kind of explained that. The 3 buses that we talked about are off of our rotation now. They've been decommissioned, and a lot of that was through the Clean Engine grant that Jill received. So we're all moving in a really positive direction. I will say this, I think our transportation fleet has really, especially the buses, has made a significant improvement over the last few years. And I think the bus drivers and the students enjoy that, and we're in a good position, from where we were a few years ago. And I think that's really all I have.
Okay, any questions? Tanya?
All right, I've got my Tanya's topics in the board packet for you. Recruitment staffing update has changed a little bit. We have a couple of classified positions that we have open, couple para positions, so we are working to fill those. With the frontline update, we've got frontline up and running. We've got a lot of data entry that's going on right now. It'll get much easier in later years, but this first onboarding season, And we are doing a lot of data entry and just trying to figure out how to use the system and how it works with our processes and procedures. Negotiations, we've had a great negotiation session. I sent you some information that just kind of explained a little bit further how negotiations went and some things that we discussed with TEA. So you have that document also with all of the changes, red lines, additions. And if you had any questions about that, just let me know. And then we had our new staff orientation this summer. For the first time, we brought in our certified staff to do an orientation in the summer and give them all their like housekeeping training and those pieces. Got their badges, key fobs, laptops, Chromebooks. And we also brought in classified staff. We had them come in on August 5th, which is right before they started on the 6th. This was super beneficial for us, just because it got those first day jitters out of the way. They were able to log into computers, they got their badge, their fob, they knew where they were going, and that just made that transition into the next day at the breakfast so much smoother. Forrest and I were talking today about the small number of help tickets that, things we were able to resolve early on, and he's just had some very good success and very few technology issues. And it seems like it has gone really well, and we're off to a strong start.
The only thing I'd say on that, Tanya, you'd said in your frontline update some potential solutions to implement next summer. I would just advise that we're really careful about not customizing ourselves into a corner. We're probably not that different than a whole bunch of other schools that use it successfully. So it does have to work for us, but let's make sure that we don't make it unmanageable for Forrest and team over time, that it gets too custom and stuff. So
Right. We're not really customizing it. We're just trying to figure out how we use it within the system. There are just a couple of things that we're working on too, the technical issues that we've had, and once school gets going, we'll have some more time to address those and how we make those work. We've got to spend some time talking with Forrest, and then some of the tech folks from Frontline on how things work together and talk to each other. So we're just making sure everything is working effectively.
perfect. Any questions? Okay. Moving into the action items. I would make a motion that we approve action item 5.1, which is the approval of additional warrant list items. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Approval of the budget publication. I might say a couple words. Do you have anything you want to?
Not really. I think
So
you're pretty attuned to this.
yeah, so we've done a really good job the last couple of years of either keeping the mill levy flat or even down slightly. This year we're going to be up about 1.1, 1.15, something like that mills. Certainly I am an advocate for keeping it flat and being a good fiduciary of our taxpayer dollars. I also know that we've had some challenges in SPED and other places, both in terms of some surprises with our co-op and the state aid or around some of our bond things continues to go down. So based on my read of it, I don't think we have a lot of options besides to have it tick up slightly. I do think that Lauren and Rebecca and I have talked pretty considerably about general belt tightening over the course of the year to try and build some cash balances, so we'll continue to work together on that. Probably the only other thing I would say, just as kind of an FYI, based on a conversation I had with Brad Eccles, it looks like maybe the county did not publish the RECs mill levy R&R stuff correctly. So the rec shows up on all those documents as USD 464-recreation, and their spending shows up like 76%. but they've kept their mill levy flat too. I know Brad's talked to the county, pushed them on trying to get them to republish. Based on what I've heard, it doesn't sound like that's gonna happen, but it's important for this group because next month we'll have a budget hearing, and given the way that shows up as USD 464-recreation, there could well be some public concern on that. So I want everybody to know that that is a concern to the extent we can. We'll certainly represent what Brad's heard from the county. If the county would republish it, that would be great, but it's misinformation, and I hope it keeps everyone's, doesn't get people's blood pressure up unnecessarily, but that's what I've been able to figure out on. So any discussion on the budget before we jump in here?
And we do have a copy of the updated rec commission hearing.
Okay.
Yeah, they corrected the percentages.
Okay, good. So, and again, what we're doing tonight is approving the budget publication in the paper, and next month there will be a R&R hearing, and then a budget hearing, and then our normal board meeting. Any discussion? I would move that we approve action item 5.2, approval to publish the budget. Is there a second?
I second it.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Action item 5.3, which is approval of the train project development agreement. I think that, talked with Lauren today, I think there's a desire to get a little bit more information before we publish or before we move forward with the train project development agreement. I would actually move that we table action item 5.3. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Action item 5.4, approval of driver's education car. Lauren, do you want to talk to this one?
Yeah, I just want to emphasize that all, this purchase would come from the driver's education fund. It's not coming from general fund or LOB. And we have the funds in there, and it's actually recommended that we use those dollars for specifically for this. So this car, it's actually, if you know what a Traverse is, it's like a SUV. It's not the size of a Tahoe, it's the size down. It does have a third row, but that third row is pretty small. But it would be perfect for students and staff using it, during the course of the year. But it will be used in late May, June, wherever they need it for sped. It has to be, according to, by using driver's ed dollars. And we selected the Chevrolet Traverse. We did get 2 bids, and they are identical vehicles. I mean, there's like $30 difference on the MSRP. So we are comparing apples to apples on this bid. So my recommendation is to move forward. We're not trading anything in. We're keeping the both Ford Fusions. One, I think the gray Ford has almost 140,000 miles. So there's a little bit of life left in it, but I'm not even sure we will use it for driver's ed. I think it would probably be this vehicle, maybe the Impala, maybe the white. We just have to see. So, but anyway, I'm recommending that we move forward with this. This would be a good purchase for the school district and last for years.
Any discussion?
I was just going to ask on the driver's ed program. I'm not overly familiar with it, but now having a daughter that's kind of gotten to that age, is that something maybe in a future board meeting we can have them kind of present on what they offer the district and in terms of
I'd say the biggest thing right now is just finding people that want to teach driver's ed.
I could see that.
Yeah, a lot of the students now, they hire out to professional companies in Kansas City and Lawrence. I don't know if it's faster, I don't know if it's better, but it's not like the old driver's ed that I had where it was a class during the school day, and it's not that way anymore.
Yeah, I think it has changed a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
Nice to learn a little more about
Yeah.
it.
We have one of our high school teachers that's
Have that.
pretty good at it.
Any other discussion? All right, I would move that we approve action item 5.4, approval of driver's education car purchase in the amount of $40,732.50.
This is widely correct.
Yep. Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Action item 5.5, approval of the negotiated agreement. So I think Lauren kind of hit on it during his update. Chris, myself, Stephanie got a chance to participate in it. I think it was collaborative. You know, the district has, you know, for several years kind of made a commitment to trying to make sure that we're really competitive from a teacher salary perspective. Really all of the new money plus some that we got from growth and state aid and the like went to fund that appropriately. The certified staff, their average raise was right at 4.03%, which we certainly all wish it were more, but you know, there were several local districts that gave, you know, a fraction of that or zero. So I think it was a reasonably good outcome from my perspective. There were some give and takes on both sides there, and again, a pretty collaborative discussion. So any questions, discussion about that? Anything else you'd add, Lauren or Tanya?
No, you know, it was, yeah, I was appreciative. That's about the best way I can put it. I thought it was both sides listened, and we move forward.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right, I would move that we approve the negotiated agreement as presented. Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. 5.6, approval of TMS floor scrubber purchase. Mr. Loomis gave us an update on that. I know there's some quotes attached. Any discussion? All right, I'm gonna just keep the party going here. I would move that we approve action item 5.6, approval of TMS floor scrubber purchase. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. All right, we do have a need for executive session tonight, so I would move that we recess, go into executive session for 20 minutes to discuss non-elected personnel matters, include Mr. Feldkamp. Is there a second?
A second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right, we will be back. We'll give Chris a second, then we'll start.
Bring your book.
All right, we will resume the meeting. One action item that came out of executive session. So I would move that we approve salary adjustments for classified staff, administration, and coordinators as presented. Is there a second?
I second it.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Any board discussion? Meeting adjourned.